Today we're going to try to construct a box on Inventor where we've made the sides. So I've got my, let's see, we started probably with the sides by doing this drop down list. I've picked a color simply to be able to distinguish one side from the other. So this is my small side, so I called it box S side, box small side. I just went File, Save As, and gave it a name that was meaningful. So if I look in here at my actual dimensions for my sketch, I can see that the width from left to right is a 4, and the up and down height of the box is going to be 3.5 inches. Everything on this box is extruded to 0.5 inches. My large side, if I go inside the extrusion, I can see that that guy went 6. So if I needed to edit anything, I could just double click on the sketch and quickly modify my dimensions. So I've got an empty assembly where I'm also going to find a bottom. We'll find eventually that the bottom would go 4 by 5. So we'll insert a bottom there and then see how much time we've got to possibly put a lid on this thing. So let's go to the assembly and just walk through the process. I need 2 sides of small and large, and then 1 bottom. So I called this thing box. So you've got to figure out where you saved it and find. So I've got my box small side. I typically put it back to an isometric. It seems to default to a front view. I kind of like placing these things. So I just left clicked it once. I left click it again, and then I can left click it all day long, but I only need 2 sides. So now I've got my 2 small sides taken care of. I'm going to go place and bring in my large sides too. This one I'm going to rotate it. If you look at the y-axis pointing straight up, if I rotate that thing about the y-axis, it's going to put it kind of in the orientation that it's going to eventually sit in the box. Just kind of gives me a visual that's more representative of my final result. I'm going to press escape there, and let's bring in the bottom later, just because it's not going to help anyway. So one of these parts I want to anchor down just so that everything flies towards it. So let's just anchor the one on the back perspective. The small side's fine. Any box side would have been fine. So I'm just going to right click and ground it so that now if I try to grab that thing, I can't move it. Every other piece moves. So as I constrain this thing and connect the sides, this part will be anchored and everything else will move towards that part. So everything's going to be a mate or a flush. So the first thing I want to do is just make contact between my wall. So this edge is going to mate or slap together with this surface. So I could go to either side of this surface. Let's just go to this surface because I don't have to rotate in order to do that. And then remember that constraining it, you have to apply it. So that thing's done. It's exactly what I wanted to do, but it's not. I know it's not done yet. I got to shift things around. So just thinking about that. What do I need to do? I need to shift this so that it's lined up. That's a flush. So if I look at the edge there, that'll be a flush. And then I need the top of this one and the top of that one to line up. That's called a flush too. So let's give it a shot and see if we can understand what these buttons are doing. So if I take this and flush it, I just want to get that top surface and that top surface. So that's what it did. It just locked them down so that the top of my box is now flat or flush all the way around. So make sure you apply it. And then if I do rotate around it, just to take a look at this edge is not clean yet. I can still shift this one. I want to flush this edge, that skinny face, to the flat face of the red small side. So I'm going to open up a constraint. I'm going to press the flush button, and I'm going to pick that face and that face, and now those two guys line up. So I got one side done. Let's keep moving along. Let's constrain. Let's see. Let's constrain this guy. So I'm going to mate. Let's see. I'm going to mate that small face, and this time I do have to rotate around, so I want to mate those two faces. Now I want to flush those faces and the top. So make sure you got a flush. So I'm going to take a quick look at where I'm at. So I'm almost there. And now I'm going to finish it with this one where I don't need to mate both sides. I only need to mate one face. So this guy with one of the red edges. So I'm going to mate those guys and press apply. And then I am going to, this one looks like it already is, but let's just make sure it's actually shifted. And then this guy to that guy will be enough. So now if I look at all my parts, everything is locked down. Everything has been linked together with a piece that's grounded. If I went over here and ungrounded the piece that I started with, so if I go to this piece right here and notice that it's grounded and unclick that grounded, I'll notice that all the parts are linked together, and now I can actually move the part around. So at this stage of the game, but we're still going to constrain other things to this box. So let's try the bottom. So if I think about the bottom, say for instance the small side was 4 wide, and now I've added, so actually that 4 wide is enough. So the red side is 4, so that means one of the dimensions of my bottom is 4 if I'm going to make an insert that's going to fit in the gap. And then the other side was 6 total, but I've taken away from those ends. The red takes up half an inch on either side, so that removes 1 inch. So I have 6 take away 1, so 5. So bottom is going to be a 4 by 5 insert. I've already made that bottom insert. Let's just take a look at our sketch. So the sketch says 5 on one side and 4 on the other side. So let's just bring that into our assembly. So if I go place and I look for my box part that I've named something intelligent that has to do with the bottom. So I called mine box bottom. And I can rotate this thing. I don't necessarily have to. I'm going to rotate it about X just so I can see it sitting flat in the direction that I want it to be. That's still rotated in the wrong direction. I'm going to do one more rotation Z, and that's exactly how it's going to insert into the bottom. So all I'm doing is right-clicking and picking a rotation, but you don't have to worry about that because you're going to use constraints to fit it into its position. So one of the constraints I want to do is to mate some face. So if I take this face, for instance, I want to mate that, and that's one of the smaller faces, the 4-inch face. I want to mate that on one of the faces that represents the smaller dimension inside the box. So I'm going to press apply, that's good. And then another thing I need to do is eventually I'm going to have to flush out the actual face so it lines up, and then I can see, okay, I'm not quite there yet, so if I cancel it, I can still move it. So if I take this skinny face right here and mate it together with the inside of that face, let's see if that will get us completely constrained. So I'm going to just slap. All it's mate just means put that face in contact with the other face. If we take that one and that one, it slaps it down, and I press apply, and my basic box is set. The next final phase would be to put a lid on this thing. So one of the dimensions we can see is the white distance is 6, and then the other one, this red face from side to side, was 4, but I'm adding half of an inch on either side, so it's 5. So one of the top plates is going to be 6 by 5. But what I'm encouraging students to do is to repeat a bottom. If you think of the bottom as being an insert, and I attach that to my lid, then the lid will actually be locked in position. I think I'm going to stop the video right here and let you consider the design for your own lid.